so today's video is a continuation of a mini series of before and after results, explaining the results, realistic hair transplant journeys that will help you more in planning your hair transplant, researching your hair transplant, results that are genuine, results that are real, results that have lasted a long time. In today's patient, we'll take a closer look at the hair transplant journey of a patient who's grade 6 androgenic alopecia, extensive baldness. We'll review his transformation of the last 10 months and most importantly, discuss the factors that affect results, the key things that you need to know before considering a hair transplant. But before that, ever wondered why clinics do not show long-term results? When your first counseling session with the doctor, if the doctor is available, does not last for more than 12 minutes, your hair transplant result also will last no more than 12 months. Hair transplants need proper planning, proper case selection, proper watering down of unrealistic expectations. Today, very few doctors will show you the mirror of rationality. Most will just pander to your every need and desire, not explaining to you the limitations that hair transplant procedure has. Hair transplant is a science after all. A hair transplant done improperly, a hair transplant patient selected improperly when he was not a candidate in the first place for a hair transplant, or a hair transplant not done skillfully enough by the doctor himself, is more likely than not going to land you in a tight spot which is very difficult to correct. So it is your first hair transplant that is going to dictate your happiness as far as your hair is concerned. Patients often bring along pictures of their most favorite or a famous cricketer, but what they do not realize is that every person's donor area, every person's circumstances vary from one case to the other. There are so many variables in a hair transplant, and the purpose of my videos is to bring to light all the points, all the dimensions of hair transplant that you should consider before you tread this path, because this path is fraught with danger. So the importance of getting it real. The onus lies on the doctor to explain to the patient what can be achieved and what cannot be achieved. Though most clinics are found wanting in this one important point, which is going to determine long-term happiness. So this patient came to us with grade 6 male pattern baldness. You can see his donor area not too lush, an extensive grade of baldness, scanty beard growth. So the patient was counseled and told what he could expect and what he cannot expect. In most cases with extensive baldness, such large areas cannot be covered in one session, especially patients who do not have an adequate body graft donor. At some point or the other, and more so in the crown, some compromise is to be made, and after 6 months or after 1 year, whenever the patient is available, more density can be added to the crown area. This is very important to understand. Besides the quality of a donor area, the scalp donor or the bodily donors, the stability of your hair loss, the stability of your baldness is very important. The baldness, especially when you are young, needs to be stable before you go in for a procedure. So this underlines the importance of medication to prepare your donor area, to stabilize your baldness before you go in for a hair transplant. It is like a jungle fire. While the fire is still raging, if you plant more trees, the fire is going to consume all these newly planted trees. They will not grow. So it's prudent to first wait for the forest fire to subside or to extinguish the forest fire before we go about planting new trees. And this is the same with hair transplant surgery. So how is my technique different? In my clinic, Darling Buds Clinic in Chandigarh and Mumbai, we do only one case in a day. And whatever case is done, and mind you, it's the same protocol for all cases. I do all the consultations myself, all hairline designs, even the trimming of the hair before the procedure is done by me. Then I proceed to do the anesthesia. I'm a plastic surgeon by profession, and I am trained in basic local anesthesia. And mostly the anesthesia that I give, as per the feedback that I get from patients, is barely painful. It's just a 1-minute procedure in which the anesthesia is given, and after that the head is numb. And then I do all the surgical steps myself, that is the harvesting of the grafts, 100% harvesting and 100% making of the slits. I lay stress on the importance of out-of-body ischemia time, the amount of time the grafts are kept outside the body. And therefore my technique, in vivo preservation of grafts. I core the grafts, leave them in the body, let them subsist on the blood supply because the base of the graft is not yet detached. It is only cored. So the grafts continue to lie in the donor area till such time the entire harvesting is over, and then they are extracted within 15 to 20 minutes with 3 people extracting the grafts simultaneously. The grafts then go into petri dishes, go under the microscope, they are cleaned, they are defatted, and they are laid out in single hair grafts, double hair grafts, triple hair grafts, and multiple hair grafts. Because though the grafts come out randomly from the scalp donor and the bodily donor, every graft has its hierarchy of position, where it is going to go and how strategically we are going to plant the grafts so that we can get maximum bang from the buck. We can get the maximum result from available number of grafts because grafts are finite in number. And then I proceed to do the slit making. The slit making is done by the sapphire blade, the sapphire knife. While the slits are being made, the grafts are being prepared under the microscope. And as soon as the slits are made, my team comprising 2 trained nurses who've been with me for last 10 years start loading the implanter pens, a modification of the Sava and keep implanter that I use in my practice. The slits determine the angulation, the direction of the grafts. Now these variables cannot be changed by the implanter. The implantation is a mechanical job carried out by the implanters. Since the dull implanter pen is putting the grafts, inserting the grafts into pre-made slits, nothing can be altered. The direction, the angle cannot be altered, the density cannot be altered. So it is very safe. There's only one step that I do not do myself, and that is the implantation. And I have devised ways and means in which the implanter, the person who's doing the implantation, cannot alter the direction, cannot alter the angulation, cannot alter the density of the implantation. It is a very safe procedure. Grafts go in without any inordinate out-of-body ischemia time, and they go in without undue trauma. And once the results set in 6 to 9 months' time, my clinic is the only clinic which follows up patients without taking any consultation fee for as long as they wish to stay with us. Because it's not just a mechanical hair transplant that is going to solve all your hair loss problems. It is a genetic process. Baldness is a genetic process, and we also have to deal with the genetics. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this case, any question about hair loss, hair transplants, hair loss treatment for men and women, do drop a comment in the comment section below. If you want a personalized consultation, get in touch with the numbers provided or the email address which has been mentioned, and we'll get back to you the soonest. Have a nice day and God bless you.